Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my February 2025 reading blog. So thus far I have already jumped into my reading. I have started and completed a few books. Now, the first book is off of my 100 Epic Reads of a Lifetime poster, and I am reading Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. I am about 200 pages into the novel thus far, and so far it is about a group of fighter pilots in World War II who do not want to be doing what they're doing, but their commander is forcing them to do way more missions than they signed up for. It is satirical. It talks about the horrors of World War II. It's very repetitive and pretty funny, and so far I am just okay on it. It's not my favorite thing of all time. I didn't expect it to be. So you will hear more about that in the vlog dedicated to it. As well, I am started reading Lucy Undying by Kiersten White. If you don't know, that is a retelling, a sort of sequel, reboot, modernization of the story of Dracula and the character of Lucy, who was Dracula's first victim in England. So far, I am not too much into it, but so far I am not liking the approach of what's going on. Of course, I do enjoy the queer elements, and I'm glad that Kiersten White is leaning into those, but otherwise the writing is very off-putting to me, and I am not a huge fan of how much we are shifting back and forth. So I hope it settles itself as the book gets going. Third of all, I have started reading a bit more Batman comics to prepare me into reading Batman Murder Fugitive. So I read Batman Evolution by Rucka and others, and then I also read Gotham Knights Transference and Gotham Knights Contested by Devin, Grayson, and a bunch of other contributors. Batman Evolution I gave 3 stars. It was just a simple set of stories of Batman essentially by himself because his Bat family have all scattered ways as he is solving new mysteries after the events of No Man's Land. And the Batman Gotham Knights series is a bunch of other vignettes that are more of a character piece into Batman's psyche, into his character, into how he treats his Bat family, and how he is eventually pushing them away in preparation for Batman Murder Fugitive, which is essentially the idea that did Batman kill someone and the repercussions of that. Now, Batman Evolution, I gave 3 stars. I thought the coloring inside the comic was very beautiful and interesting, very monochromatic, beautiful, beautiful use of color. And as for the Batman Gotham Knights 2 comics, I gave those both 4 stars because one of my favorite things are episodic vignettes dealing with a character's how they work, their psyche, and their relationships. And I think Devin Grayson does a really good job doing those in isolation, reading them very episodically, and contributing to the whole of Batman's character without feeling too distracting. Her character work is very, very excellent, especially in regards to Dick and Bruce's relationship and whether or not they have a relationship outside of being superheroes. So all in all, very, very good stuff in my comics. As for my books, I do hope that Lucy Undying gets better, and I hope to read a few more interesting books this month, so stay tuned for my journey there. Okay, I have nowhere to go because a huge snowstorm just hit and I can't stand in front of my window because it is just white. It is just white, so we're trying to figure out where to put this camera. Okay, you're on my desk chair, so we're just checking the sound right now for that to see if everything's good for me to keep talking. All right, we're good, and here we are once again for me to discuss what I have been reading. I have finished Batman Bruce Wayne Murderer and Batman Bruce Wayne Fugitive by Greg Rucka, Ed Brubaker, and other collaborators, and both of those comics got 3 stars from me. I thought that they were pretty good. I really liked the idea of, oh, did Bruce Wayne kill someone and not tell anyone about it? Is the whole setup of Batman completely fractured now because he broke his golden rule? I really liked that aspect. Of course, I liked the character dynamics with the Bat family, as well as the wonderful inclusion of Cassandra Cain. They are doing such a good job with her as Batgirl, incorporating her and her different upbringing into stories, and the whole culmination of the story, just an excellent work with Cassandra Cain, as well as the other members of the Bat family. I especially liked how hard it was on Dick. Of course, what I didn't like was all of the Sasha Bordeaux and the checkmate stuff. Just was not my thing. Not a huge fan of it, but I thought it was hilarious that Bruce just completely abandoned her. I thought that was very, very funny. I have also finished Lucy Undying by Kiersten White. I am giving that story 1 star. So the method of trying to modernize or change the ideas of the original Dracula novel failed tremendously. One thing I'm going to tell you about the novel, and then I'm going to cut out all spoilers, is that Lucy ends World War I by herself, by misting into the train car and yelling at the men to sign the armistice, because apparently the idea of ending World War I for a wide variety of reasons could not have been decided by a man, because you know all men are villains. So I'm so glad that a innocuous victim dead character from Dracula ended World War I for all of humanity. Additionally, the queer elements were somehow extremely boring. The original female main character is very embarrassing and just like a horrible kind of character. She flips off inanimate objects, she makes corny jokes and quips that aren't charming, and I just think that she was unpleasant to follow. I didn't like the idea that the only good characters in the novel were queer, and that all of the men were villains to some capacity. I didn't like any of the original vampire characters that Lucy encounters in the novel. And worst of all, I hate this headcanon that Kiersten White admits she has while reading the original Dracula novel, that everyone actually found Lucy repulsive and childish and gross and annoying, and this entire plot was to steal her inheritance, that they killed her on purpose to steal her inheritance, and that afterwards Mina and Arthur ultimately joined forces just to take inheritance. Have you not read the novel and the themes of friendship and banding together against an outside force? The ways that each character describes how much they love each other and how bonded they are, the group of friends going to a different country to defeat Dracula, to save Mina, everything they did to save Lucy, they gave her their blood. Does that mean nothing in the novel? Also, the novel is I can't believe they gave Lucy all their blood when our blood types were different. Checkmate. It was all fake. Blood types were not discovered until a few years after the novel was published. There was no way in hell Bram Stoker would have known that for the novel. So we need to put things in context. We need to understand that not everything should be viewed through a modern feminist lens, and forcing stuff through a modern feminist lens just leaves a story disappointing, hollow, and ultimately extremely frustrating. I hate being frustrated reading a Dracula retelling. I want to read a Dracula retelling and enjoy it. I don't understand why this approach was taken, especially when Kiersten White had a wide variety of good ideas for her Elizabeth Frankenstein novel. I thought that one was way better than whatever this was. This just feels like she was forced to write a Dracula retelling because she already wrote a Frankenstein one.
Just a bad decision. Don't read this. It was not good at all. So as for the rest of the month, I am not sure what I will be doing, so stay tuned for that update, and if not, then look forward to my final wrap-up soon.
Hello and welcome to my wrap-up. It is super windy today. My heat just clicked on, so we're just gonna stream through this as quickly as possible. So for this month, I read 7 books. For my 100 Epic Reads of a Lifetime poster, I read Catch-22 by Joseph Heller and ended up giving that book 3 stars. It was a very good satire about the horrors of war, the humorous aspect of irony that needs to take place in order for such war crimes to be committed, and very good character pieces about all of the men in the squadron. I thought it was very well done, and I really enjoyed it. The next book that I read was Lucy Undying by Kiersten White, and disappointingly, I am giving that book 1 star. I thought that the method of retelling was very, very poorly done. I thought the out of time, out of order explanation of everything was really confusing and got rid of a lot of the interesting aspects of the characters finding out events. I thought that the author's headcanon was just in poor taste, and unfortunately her trying to make Lucy queer just didn't work, and that is something that can just easily work. Queer retellings of stories are very common and very, very interesting, and I can't believe this one came out so poorly. I thought the original characters were dull and I didn't care if they lived or died, and none of this was interesting commentary about the original novel. There are so many ways you can approach the original novel and read it, read into its themes, and change the story. I mean, there is a whole subgenre of Dracula retellings, Dracula sequels. I've even made a video recommending some of the best. So this was just an ultimate failure, and I really, really did not like it, and I don't ever want to talk about it or think about it ever again. But finally, I wanted to show you some screenshots that I took of the book because they were just so bad. So behold! Next, I read a lot of Batman comics. So the first one I read was Batman Evolution by Greg Rucka and others, and this got 3 stars from me. It was just a very cool tale about animal transformation, and I really, really enjoyed the color palette. So a lot of the color palette was black, white, gray, and then a few other colors. It made it very streamlined, very, very gorgeous, gorgeous art. Color work was just incredible. So it was a very enjoyable read for me. Next, I read Batman Gotham Knights, Transference, and Batman Gotham Knights Contested by Devin, Grayson, and others. These were an excellent character piece looking into the psyche of Bruce and Batman,
and how he tackles everything that is going on after the events of No Man's Land, and how he deals with his Bat family and how they deal with him. I thought these were excellent. I thought these were incredibly well written. I just dove into these and drank it up, and I just loved them so much. I think Devin Grayson is a fantastic Batman writer, and I think she understands a lot of what other authors don't understand. So these were both excellent reads from me. They both got 4 stars, of course. Next, I read Batman Bruce Wayne Murderer and Batman Bruce Wayne Fugitive by Greg Rucka and others. And this was the storyline where it is believed that Bruce Wayne has killed someone that he was seeing, and the only witness to it was his bodyguard, Sasha Bordeaux, and none of the characters even know if he murdered her or not, because Bruce has just decided to stop talking and stop being referred to as Bruce, and ultimately get rid of the Bruce Wayne persona. He's acting like a huge baby throwing a tantrum, and I think it's really funny. But I really liked this storyline. Of course, I liked all the Bat family struggling to prove Bruce's innocence because he's not even trying to do anything. He's just in Batman mode. I didn't care about the Sasha Bordeaux stuff, but otherwise I thought all this stuff was very excellent. And once again, another good character piece about Batman, Bruce Wayne, and his Bat family. As I said before, I adored how Cassandra was involved in the storyline and how she approached detective work. I really like how they are writing her character. So that's it. That was my month of February. I have already started a few books for next month. I have picked up The Will of the Many by James Islington, and I have also picked up my next read off of my 100 Epic Reads poster, which you will hear about in next month's vlog. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for, of course, more videos and more reading vlogs, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.